What y'all know about that? What y'all know about that shit right there? What's up, what's up, what's up? What's up, Shrimp? What's going on, brother?
What's going on?
Same old, same old.
Nice. Yeah, you've been doing a lot of streams lately. Some of them are pretty long, too.
Yeah, we getting the marathon sometimes, man. It's pretty crazy. Just want to let everybody know who's with me, which you can see the name on his square. But we got old SHRIMPZOO in the house, baby. Gia. Anybody who be listening to my beats when I come in, y'all hear that new beat? Oh, yeah. What y'all know about that? Y'all can't fuck with me. Y'all can't fuck with me. Well, I think I just got this one demonetized right off the bat. They won't put no commercial on this. I done dropped the F-bomb twice already. Niecy looking at me, shaking her head.
Yeah, they usually will demonetize it, I think, if you swear in the first, 15 seconds or something. That's what They usually demonetize everything anyway, so...
Hell yeah, man. Man, I wrote down a bunch of questions for you, man. I get to question you down, brother. Question you down.
Cool.
All right, cool. You ready for me, man? You ready for me? I'm gonna hit you up.
I'm ready.
All right, man. First question. How long you been doing YouTube, man? How long you been doing your thing?
I probably had various different channels on YouTube for maybe 10 years.
Damn, really?
But as far as coronavirus, I started in January, going on some other people's channels. And then I started making them probably the middle or end of January. And then getting more into it in February. Most of my first 2 months of videos are removed. I think my videos on other channels still might be up. Not sure.
Yeah, I know you were getting attacked, man. Hard, man. They ended up attacking you a little bit later though, because I know at first you was rolling, man. You were putting out all the info, man. I was on your channel daily, but then all of a sudden they started cracking down on you, didn't they?
Yeah, towards spring or whatever.
Yeah, I noticed that shit, man. So where'd you come up with the name SHRIMPZOO, man? That's the coolest, man.
That's just because I like shrimp, basically.
Yeah. Didn't you used to have some shrimp in a tank or something?
Yeah, I have a shrimp hobby.
Yeah, that's what's up. And you from New York, right? I just want to let everybody know you from New York, New York.
Yep. And if you scroll back far enough on my channel, you'll see shrimp videos. There's some shrimp documentaries and stuff, how to breed shrimp and stuff like that. You gotta be
scrolling way back because you be posting buku shit going on your channel, man. You go live 4 or 5 times a day, don't you?
Well, no, not that much. Sometimes I post 3 or 4 times a day, but then I won't post for 2 or 3 days. I think it averages out to maybe once a day.
Right.
I
enjoy it though.
I have other channels I need to post more on.
Yeah, did I get it right where it's scrolling across the screen at the bottom? You're on all these things. I just wanted to make sure we went to your channel and tried to make sure I had everything on there, but Twitter, Patreon, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch.
Yeah, it looks right. I'm not even sure where my Facebook page is because I don't use it that much. They don't let me post videos there.
Yeah.
It always gets taken down or my channel gets deleted on there. So I don't know. I think I have a few Facebook pages. I'm not sure, but I'm mostly on YouTube, Twitter. I'm on Twitch.
Yeah, you go live on all that too, don't you? When you go live on YouTube, you go live on those too, don't you?
Yeah, when I'm live on YouTube, I'm also live on Twitter and Twitch.
Yeah, I've heard you say it a few times. So what's up, man? What made you get into the viruses, man? What made you get so deep into it and start figuring all this shit out, man? Where'd you even find the coronavirus, man? The 19.
So my favorite my favorite movie is like virus movies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been into like Outbreak and Contagion and all the virus movies, any of them, even like zombie movies and stuff. But
Right.
I've just been into Ebola and like rabies and bat viruses. I just always been into that. And so when this first came out, my ex was she was an X-ray tech, and those are the people that will take the X-rays of people who have pneumonia. So they'll
Right.
be the first people in the hospitals to see it. Once they
Right.
get admitted, whatever, they'll be like they have a cough or whatever. The person will say, "Well, we'll take lung X-rays." So they'll see them right away. At the end of January, I always look at virus stuff online, virus news and stuff, and I'll look at international news. So end of December, beginning of January, I knew about the outbreak in China, and I determined right away that it was probably airborne, and I was thinking definitely would spread in China like SARS. 'Cause everybody thought it was SARS at first, and I knew about SARS already because I live close to Toronto. That was a big deal there.
Right.
Um, my ex started picking up cases in early January and started wearing a hazmat suit in January, but the news didn't tell us it was here till March. So the CDC didn't have test kits till like I don't know, late February or something like that. They didn't have test kits till a couple months in, and then even when they did have test kits, everybody had to send them back because they were broken. They didn't work. So
Right.
during that whole time, everybody's like, "Oh, there's no cases." Well, they didn't have anything to test anybody with. The hospitals were aware of it. They didn't do anything about it. My ex was on the union board and stuff for ordering materials for the hospitals, like masks and stuff. So, and my other friend is a COVID nurse. He works in the COVID ward at Buffalo General. So I have a lot of family and friends. My older sister works for the vaccine company. So I knew about it right away, and then a lot of people were coming in. Max started wearing a hazmat suit in January, but they were telling the public there's no cases. So then she started wearing a baklava mask on my channel, and we started leaking that it was here. That she was wearing a hazmat suit in early January. People were coming in from the border from Toronto, like Chinese nationals. We live by the border, Niagara Falls.
Right.
They would come across the Peace Bridge. People from China who would fly into Toronto. They were there for like a day, saw the falls, and then want to go to Buffalo or whatever. And then also, the University of Buffalo has like an exchange program with Chinese students, and it's over 1,500, and they all happen to be from Wuhan.
Oh Lord.
So, and it was on their website and stuff. You could see my videos where I have it on their website. The University of Buffalo talks about it. It shows you how many students from Wuhan they have. So that was Christmas break and stuff. They all came back at the end of December, early January. They're all coming back from Wuhan. Over 1,500 students directly from
Right.
Wuhan, and the border's still open with Toronto. Max was seeing dozens of the worst pneumonia cases she'd ever seen in her life, and they were aware of it. They started wearing hazmat suits. They were in contact with the CDC. They told them to take airborne precautions. Everybody says I was lying, so I was like showing X-ray books and like her work badges and like her work ID, and everyone was saying, "Oh, you're lying. It can never be here." All the and I'm just gonna say it like it is. All the Democrats, for whatever reason, like there's Reddit threads about me. I was on Channel 4 News. Millard Fillmore put up a website debunking me, saying I wouldn't be here. It was all over the place. People were saying that was wrong. They were saying that was like a local person on social media was spreading rumors. Um, Someone from Channel 4 News called in like fake death threat, and against me, and I think my followers started messing with him, and it was like the news was messing with me, saying it was fake. There was just a flu.
They were
So
attacking you hard.
yeah, I got a lot of resistance from it. But that's just how I started, because I had family and friends that were in hazmat suits in January when New York, Erie County was telling people there were 0 cases, but they didn't have test kits, and they would just tell people to go home and self isolate. And like there was a case in Italy where I was like, hey, today at work my ex just tested like 24 people, and the ER was filled up with with students who just got back from Italy, exchange students, right before they closed the border. And then the next day on the news, they announced people had COVID and stuff. And I don't know. People,
Yeah, that's crazy.
that's
So
how
it
I
sounds
started.
like that's where they funneled in from. You know what I mean? I remember you doing all this because I found your channel like early as hell. Like I think it's when you like really first started, talking about this stuff because I was looking up the organ stuff that happens in China and stuff, and I had been looking into it for a couple months, going down the rabbit hole. And then all of a sudden I started seeing videos of people falling out in hospitals
Yeah,
running in, and then I started following. You ever seen Coriana Jones?
yeah, I like that channel. I haven't watched it in a while, but I remember watching that channel.
Yeah, he started busting out with some info, and then you was busting out with some info, and actually my daughter got really, really, really sick, and the hospital. It was on the hospital papers. It said an unknown pneumonia from an unknown flu, and that's exactly what I got pictures of the paperwork. It was crazy. She was like deathly sick, and she was, she's only 26 years old at the time. I'm like, well, what the hell? I mean, she got through it and everything, but I knew something was up. You know what I mean? I knew it was here, and I wasn't on YouTube yet. I was over on Facebook trying to warn everybody and warn all my family and all that stuff. But they were trying to keep it from getting out to the public. The info. That's why I was like, damn, go ahead, Shrimp, do your thing, man. Because they wasn't saying shit. They didn't say shit until the stock market started falling. That's when they
Yeah,
started talking about it.
exactly right.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they should have just shut the border off like back in January, and then maybe we could have lived normal. Stopped all the flights from China and stuff, and probably Europe.
Yeah.
There was an outbreak in Buffalo already, like a little bit after Christmas time. So I'm sure it was spreading other places. It was just, and I live in a town of 10,000 people on the outskirts of Buffalo, in between Rochester and like downtown Buffalo. So
Right.
if we were affected in a tiny little cow town around Christmas time, I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was like already widespread by then.
Right. And when they first came out with it, it ain't like they said, oh, it's in New York. They said it was all the way on the West Coast in Washington State. Remember that? That's like
Yeah,
where they started talking
yeah,
about it in that old folks home.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's a lie. They fired people at Miller Fillmore, and they fired people at some other hospitals for complaining about not having supplies and stuff. They definitely
Yeah.
kept it a secret.
Yeah, they were even shutting down nurses that were coming out talking about it and stuff. I remember there was a couple nurses that came out and was telling what was going on in the hospitals, and they shut them up quick. You remember that?
I'm not sure what ones you're talking about, but nobody I knew wanted to go on camera that worked in the hospitals. But I mean,
There were on Facebook there was this thing that went viral, and it only lasted probably a half an hour until Facebook completely shut it down. But she was at the hospital, and she was like in an eating room, and she talked for like, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes. She was crying, and she was talking about all the stuff that was going on in the hospital, and she said
yeah.
people were breaking. That's what I figured, they
Well,
were breaking.
we thought it was like Ebola or the next SARS, and by like February, my ex was living in like a camper, like in the driveway and stuff,
I
because
remember that.
all the doctors and nurses started like not living in the houses. But they were already testing for it, and so everybody thought it was like SARS or something in the beginning. Nobody was quite sure, and so
Why
like
why do you why do you
they
why do you
lied about it. Really,
why do you think they did that, man? Why do you think they were lying about it, and not letting us know what was going on?
um, I don't. I for whatever reason it would have been bad press for the hospital, and like I would post on Dr. John Campbell's channel. He started talking. He was one of the like first people to start talking about it. I would post on there, and then her work would complain that I was posting on there that there was an outbreak in Buffalo, and I would have to go online on Dr. John Campbell's channel and delete my YouTube comments. And I think I shown some of my videos her work complaining, and I show the text messages and the videos of Kaleida texting her to tell me to remove the videos or asking, "Hey, is SHRIMPZOO is is he SHRIMPZOO? Because you need to remove those." It was
Damn.
just they thought it would be bad press, and even like the hospital was like watching my comments.
Well, why do you think I'm just asking you, man, just your opinion on it. But why do you think that our government waited till March to start telling us, when the stock market started falling down, then they started coming out with it. But why do you think they had to have known about this shit in January if we knew about it? You know what I mean?
I mean, the hospitals and the like Erie County where I live, and like all the counties in New York City, certain people in charge, like the mayor and governor, they knew that they were sending hundreds, if not tens of thousands of people home suspected of having it to self isolate, people that had symptoms of it. They didn't have those test kits for a while. It took a while. Like it happened at the very end of December that people became first aware. Most people weren't really aware till the end of January, February, March time.
Right.
They just didn't have. It took a few months for them to get reliable tests, and the first test just didn't work. So instead of saying they suspected people, they just hushed it, and like um, the Erie County health executive Gail Bernstein, she was saying it would violate HIPAA laws to release information. They didn't have to. The Tonawanda Fire Department picked up one of the first cases here. They posted on their Facebook page, and then Gail Bernstein, who's the Erie County Health Executive, she made them remove it, and I like took some pictures of that. They said they picked up somebody who like passed out coughing or something, suspected to have it, and then it disappeared off the fire department's page. So they were hiding it at first. I guess they thought it would look bad somehow to admit it was here. Plus, they couldn't. They 100% they couldn't identify it because they didn't have the test.
Right. We had a local doctor. He got on Facebook and did a live. I think it was like late March, or it might have been the middle of March. It's before it really blew up all over the media. But he did a live stream and he was on there talking about it ain't nothing but a common cold. You might get sick, but it's just like anything else we've ever dealt with. I mean, he everything he said was completely wrong. Well, in my opinion. It was horrible, and I haven't heard from that dude since because it was like right after he did that live, it started, going all over the media and the whole panic broke out. You know what I mean? It was crazy, man. But I just look at it like if me and you, we're just two, normal people sitting back, watching YouTube and stuff like that, and then boom, I knew about it in January. I mean, I was watching all kinds of videos of shit happening over there in China. And if me and you can figure it out, and that's January, and then they wait 2 months to tell the public, I mean, it's amazing to me, man. It's
Yeah.
mind blowing.
Well, they don't want to. They don't want people to cause panic. They didn't. I don't know why they told people like to not buy Home Depot like drywall masks and stuff like that. Because my ex was on the union board responsible for like getting supplies and stuff. That was not happening. I also donated stuff to the hospital. They just threw it out. So
That's
like
crazy.
They weren't pre-ordering masks or anything. Basically, until the lockdown happened, they weren't even worried about that. They were just being lazy.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
hospital run very well. They were aware. They just didn't care.
I know somebody who I grew up with, and she worked for like the health care place around my area, and she said they were sitting around talking about it at lunchtime, but nobody was doing anything about it. They were just talking about it and complaining about what the media was saying or what the government was doing. But I was like, well, didn't anybody higher up than you start ordering some masks or ordering some goggles or, getting some PPE, something? Did anybody do anything? And she's like, nah, nobody really did anything. Just sat around and complained the whole time. I'm like, yeah, that's why we got thousands and thousands of people dead. Because I think it was like that all over the damn place. So what do you think about the mask, man? When they came out and they told us that we didn't need no mask, didn't need no mask, didn't need no mask, and then boom, now it's we need a mask, we need 2 masks, we need 3 masks. What do you think about the mask situation, man?
Well, around Christmas time, like early January, I was remodeling my house, so I had a bunch of boxes of 3M respirators, and then I was doing some other like painting stuff and like some tar and stuff, some weatherproofing. So then I got a few P100 respirators and stuff.
Right.
Then I just started liking masks. And that was also at the same time Corona was coming out. So it was kind of a coincidence. So at that point I already had like 50, 60 masks
Right.
for the remodeling and stuff. And I noticed that masks were starting to become depleted. So I just started buying tons of masks and just getting into them. I knew that masks worked when the Surgeon General or whatever was saying don't buy masks, they don't work, and MSNBC was saying it, and then I would look up pictures of the Spanish flu, and you can look up like 3, 4, 500 years ago people wearing different masks in like China and America and Europe. Like I knew masks work, and there was swine flu outbreaks before, so I'd got masks for those. It was like a decade ago. That's kind of why I started like being a prepper, I guess, just because I noticed I should probably get masks when swine flu came out, I thought, but it turned out to be kind of not that bad.
Yeah.
So
I was
they lied about the mask. I don't care if people wear a mask or not, but I mean they lied about the mask.
Yeah, I think that's a big reason why so many people don't want to wear them, or so many people do want to wear them. I think they fumbled the ball on that one, so they ended up messing. When you sit there and lie to people, and then you try to come in with the truth, you've already lied to them and told them. When you got Fauci sitting there telling you not to wear one, and then he turns around a month later, he's telling you, "Oh no, you got to wear one." It's like, well, wait a minute, man. What are we supposed to believe? You know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
is it important or isn't it? And you can't even ask that question to them because they've already lied about it. But I was noticing in China that I noticed right off the bat, they started talking about how it would enter through the eyes real easy too. So everybody was wearing goggles and putting on the mask and all that. And I'm a prepper, so I already had masks anyway, from the P100 down to the, just the little cheap ones that go over your face. So
yeah,
right off the bat, I was watching my ass. I was telling everybody, all my family, I was telling everybody on Facebook, look, man, don't listen to them when they're telling you not to wear a mask. I mean, paper masks and stuff like that don't do much. But if you got a P100 or an N95, it does help. I ain't scared to say it. Y'all can be mad at me all y'all want. Them
yeah.
things will help you.
It's probably like 99.99% effective, really. Just only
Yeah.
human error or a bad fit will make you prone to infection wearing one. So overall, if you take proper care of it and sanitize it, you're unlikely to get infected with P100 or above.
What do you think about the goggles, man? Do you think it's easy to get? I know you've done a lot of research, man.
People probably
Goggles
think
help.
I wear goggles and crazy masks all the time, but I'll just wear an N95 mask in my town, and I mean I already wear glasses.
Right, right.
I'll wear goggles if I'm going into certain places I know have had COVID outbreaks recently, or if I know somebody died there, there's like people sick, or if it's in the news or something, then I'll. You know, it's a small indoor place, but it's pretty rare I wear goggles. But I mean, I think it probably gets in your eyes too. I've seen
Yeah,
studies that most people that wear glasses don't even get it. I don't know.
right.
But can it go in your ears too? You could wear AirPods or headphones too. It's I don't know. You're gonna go overboard though for if you just do everything.
Yeah.
What do you think about goggles? Do you wear goggles or?
At the very beginning, I did when I seen what China was doing, but this was, in February, early February. Like I remember my first Facebook post about it all was like February 2nd or something. And nobody was even paying attention to me. I ended up shutting down my Facebook. I was like, man, I'm out of here because they ended up attacking me real hard, and they erased like probably 100 of my posts. And you get the notifications of this and that. Like all of a sudden, they caught wind of my Facebook for some reason, and they just, I mean, came at me super hard, man. So I just shut it down. I was like, I'm done, man. Y'all want to cover stuff up and y'all want to lie to people, and I can't talk to my family and be honest with them on here. What the hell am I going to be on here for? You know what I mean? So I got out of there, man. I got out of there.
Yeah, Facebook is not as tolerant as YouTube, and YouTube's not even that tolerant. So
Yeah, I know I was kind of worried about this little show me and you was gonna do, but I'm like, man, the hell with it. You know what I mean? I know you know what to say and what not to say. I don't really. I could still mess up, but it is what it is.
yeah, I mean, so for goggles, I basically don't really wear them, but I mean, I think there's a benefit to wearing them.
Yeah.
It's only a couple places once in a while I'll wear them, and it's usually when I'm filming a YouTube video.
Right, right.
I mean, I wore them to a protest once, and Antifa, like, I think they were spitting at me and they threw water at me and stuff. So that was beneficial to them. Somebody's
Yeah.
like, use water was like otherwise going to be splashed in my eyes.
Right, right. Definitely. Do you research any other kind of stuff besides COVID, like any other kind of diseases and stuff that's going on in the world?
There's an Ebola outbreak right now. They're not sure if it's like left over from the past outbreak or it's a new outbreak. There's brain eating amoebas are on the rise and they're spreading. They used to be just in the south and stuff in warmer waters. And there's increasingly more brain amoeba fatalities. Pretty much you get them, you're just gonna die. It used to
Right.
be just like southern waters and like the Carolinas and stuff, but they're
Yeah.
now like, all the way up like New Jersey, even I think up to New York and stuff. And so it looks like they're growing more hardy, um, more resistant to the weather. So we're gonna see more like brain amoebas and like stagnant water and stuff as far as the Northeast. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, especially for me, man. I live right, on the Chesapeake Bay and the Potomac, Patuxent Rivers, the ocean. I'm in Maryland, so I'm just surrounded by all kinds of different waters.
That's that's where they like it. I
Yeah,
mean, I think the risk where you are right now is pretty low, but just in the future,
yeah, yeah.
there's a giant locust plague that's been going on for like 2 years, spanning like two continents. Looks unstoppable. I mean, it kind of dies down at some points and then picks up.
Yeah, I seen that too. Yeah. So what do you think about this thing, man? This 19. I mean, do you think it was natural?
I mean, originally, because they all viruses originally are natural, right? I guess my theory is that um, EcoHealth Alliance, that's the organization that America funded to do coronavirus research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
Right.
EcoHealth Alliance was collecting hundreds of bat samples along with Dr. Shi, who they call Batwoman. She's like the most premier coronavirus bat doctor in the entire world, and she works at the Wuhan Institute. She's been silent on and off or gone like missing and stuff. She's never spoken to Western media really recently. I'm not sure if ever. So I think they were collecting bat samples, this organization, EcoHealth, and they bring all the bat samples back to the Wuhan Institute of Virology. I think they were probably looking for the SARS virus from the previous outbreak in 2003 to 4. And they're looking for that or other coronaviruses. We've been discovering hundreds of different coronaviruses. Sometimes they're in caves with like different types of like AIDS or MERS, things like that. They don't know if there's possible viral recombination between all these different viruses and bat caves where they're just like crossing over to create something new. Maybe they're looking at that. Maybe they were trying to get SARS to make a SARS vaccine in this lab or experimenting with vaccines or something, which overall kind of harmless. And then maybe it got out. Maybe it was natural, but the one thing I'm sure of is whether it's natural from a lab is that once China was aware of it at the top levels, they sealed their borders off, but let their people fly out to other countries, and they knowingly let it spread to the rest of the world to cause economic damage. And it's almost type of biological warfare.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They were reckless, basically. They let this thing escape, and it could have been contained in their borders, and they would have suffered an extreme damage and been sealed off from the world for maybe a couple of years while they dealt with it. Maybe 5 or 10 years even. I don't know how long it would take for them to deal with it, but it could have been contained at one point. But they didn't want to be reduced globally, as while they were just about to come up. They didn't want their military, their economy to crash. They stockpiled PPE from around the world in 2019 while it was in their border spreading.
Right.
Whether or not it was an accident, maybe a bat just crapped on a pangolin in some forest in China, and it spread to some seafood market in Wuhan. Or now their theory is it came from like frozen rabbits. Maybe some guy frozen rabbit pizza in Wuhan, and that's how it formed. But however it formed, they definitely let it spread, and it's basically either, I don't know, it's either an accidental act of warfare or it's on purpose.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Even if it came from nature, they let it spread here.
Yeah, definitely. How do you think the U.S. dealt with it, man? So far in the past year, do you think the U.S. has done a good job or a bad job, man? Anything I ask you, though, if you don't feel like getting into it, man, just tell me and I'll move on. You know what I mean?
We could get into everything. Everything's a green light.
All right.
The U.S. has dealt with it the worst out of anywhere in the entire world, including Africa, or the countries that don't even think that it's real.
Right. Why do you say that, man?
Even in the Spanish flu we had what was called the League of Anti-Maskers. We have like a Wild West like patriot like tradition in America where it's like
go hard or go home.
Everybody wants their freedom. They want to be told what to do. It's different from Europe. It's different from Australia. It's definitely different from Canada. It's different from China, North Korea. In China, they do what they're told. To contain this virus, you need a homogeneous population like Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, China, Australia, New Zealand, a lot of places in Europe, really, but we're different in that way, and we're one of the only places in the world that has like a over 100-year-long anti-mask like tradition, whether people realize it or not. There was people that were anti-mask in the Spanish flu. People got shot in the streets because shop owners, mostly in America, regardless of their politics, required masks, and some people don't want to wear them, so they got killed for it.
Wow.
We have that friction, that tradition in America. It's different. There's a lot of conspiracy theories. The rise of QAnon. Even though the left doesn't think so, the rise of Antifa and BLM. Those are super spreading events. All of them. The Capitol riot or the Capitol protest was a super spreading event. It can't be contained. The political divide would need to be sealed. The Capitol wasn't ransacked in Japan or China or Germany. I mean, they don't have BLM protests in Japan with 20,000 people. They don't have a Philadelphia in Germany that like half the city protests for half of the summer. And I mean, it's only happening here.
Right. See, we ain't scared to go there, people. We ain't scared to go there. Y'all, not everybody's gonna agree, of course, but that's what this is about. That's what this is about. You gotta get on here and gotta speak your mind.
And it's just everybody. We have the NBA playing. They can go to Canada and play, but I live right from the border. I can't go there. But, these sports teams and stuff, they can have their super spreading events and they can travel internationally. But us peasants, we're locked down with restrictions. But the millionaire celebrities, they're free to go to Cabo and Canada and go to Europe, do concerts and play sports games. Politicians can go wherever they want, do whatever they want.
Right.
They can go out for haircuts without masks while telling everyone to wear masks and stay in your homes. And it's never going to be solved. And America is the worst at it. Democrats and Republicans.
Do you think we'll ever get a handle on it, or do you think it's just gonna stay going wild for like the next 5 years, 10 years? What you think, man?
We'll get a handle on it if we have a third or fourth or fifth party or libertarian or green party, or there's some type of union party. If somebody else wins, even if like, I know everybody probably hates them, but like Mitt Romney or like Rand Paul, if we had even a crappy candidate like that, somebody that it's like in the middle that would maybe unify the country, so that we could just like have a set of protocols. I don't think it will ever be solved, so I just don't even care about the lockdowns or anything. I think the lockdowns help to stop the hospitals from overflowing, and if the whole hospital is filled, you have to lock down. There's no other choice. You have to. Otherwise, your kid's going to break his arm and die at home if he can't go to the hospital.
Right.
Like here, when it's bad, my friend's a COVID nurse at Buffalo General, and when it's overflowing there because there's 100 people in the COVID ward, then they send people to Children's. So there's no other choice. You just have to lock down. You're going to have little kids die of stupid stuff or be untreated. But other than that, I don't like the lockdowns. The time the lockdown was like over a year ago. I think that the genie's out of the bottle. The best you could do is live your life and, I don't know, keep your family safe and be prepared. If it mutates to get worse, there's so many mutations now. The exponential rate of mutations rising all the time, and the chances that there's a real monster virus created from mutations, that's pretty likely. UK version is supposed to be 30-40% more deadly, even if it's only 1 to 3% deadly. Still appears to be getting worse. They say it's 40 to 80% more infectious. They say you need these boosters for everything. The Brazil, the South African strain, they're not really effective against those. You have two mutant viruses, the California, and you have the Brazil mutation that have recombined in a long hauler, somebody who's been sick for a really long time in hospital with this, and they've gotten two different mutations and they've morphed and created a new super mutation in somebody. I
Wow.
mean,
So I don't mean to cut you off, but
yeah.
so somebody was sick with it for an extended period of time, and it actually mutated in the person.
So somebody was sick in the hospital, right?
Right.
And let's say they came in sick and they had the new California mutation.
Right.
And then there's other people in the hospitals that are sick. The nurses, doctors get sick. They're lying next in beds next to other people that have COVID. Somebody else in the hospital, or they just got it both strains at the same time at the store or whatever. So but were in the hospital for a long time, probably with one strain. They occurred another strain as well, and they were both these new super mutations. And the two viruses were in their body, and then they came together and formed a new virus.
Wow.
And it's called viral recombination, when two viruses form to create a new mutation. And that's problematic for everything, for the antibody serums, for the vaccines, for all the medicines that work to help with it. And the chance, I mean, that's just one person in California. What about everyone in India, China? What about everyone in Russia, Europe, all over the entire world? That's one person. How many times has that already happened? Is it going to happen? The longer it's out, in coronavirus, a lot of people think it will be the flu or something, or the cold. But coronaviruses have a mechanism that prohibits them from mutating and become less weak. They basically auto-correct themselves. They're not going to mutate to become nothing. They're never. It's really literally impossible. It's called proofreading mechanism. Coronaviruses just won't do that. Why hasn't SARS or MERS? Ebola has never mutated to become less deadly. In fact, most people other than the media agree that a virus has never mutated to become weaker. There's only one example that I found, and that's like in some rabbits. And they had a study where they had rabbits, I think it was in Australia, that were chewing all the vegetation. They weren't native to there, so they wanted to kill them. They bring in a virus that was 99.5% deadly, gave it to the rabbit to let them spread over a decade, and they studied it, and they think that it went down like 5%, and they kept studying them, and it just like went, and then it went back up. So they think maybe it didn't even go down, but it basically just didn't change. And the common flu has been around for millennia. It's been around thousands of years with people. It's never mutated to become like significantly less deadly. Maybe it's a little more deadly or a little less deadly, but overall, it's the same thing. The common flu is way worse than the cold. Everybody knows that. And why doesn't that go the way of the cold? If herd immunity exists, let's get herd immunity for herpes. Let's get it for AIDS. Like, those aren't real things. They're just telling us that to dumb us down. I think herd immunity is a fake science. They're just telling that to buy time to the next step. Gives them 3 to 6 months. Oh, we'll vax enough people, there'll be herd immunity by 2021. If they tell us the truth, people are going to go out and rob every Nike and Gucci store in Beverly Hills. We're going to go back to that. They're not going to come out and say, hey, this thing's maybe 5% deadly, like Donald Trump said in a leaked phone call. They're not going to say it's 5% deadly. It's mutating out of control. We don't know if it came from a laboratory. By the way, the U.S. is still investigating and has not ruled out that it came from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. There was even a news report on CBS, I think yesterday, about it. They're not going to come out and say that to us.
So you sounds like you think it's. I mean, I know you know a little bit deeper than most of us because you study this stuff daily, 24/7. But it sounds like you think it's probably a lot worse than what they're telling us about, everything.
Well, the worst thing I think is the damage to the economy and small businesses and to the fabric of like Western culture itself. by integrating lockdowns into our culture, by integrating like bigotry towards like middle class workers and people of other political beliefs. We're headed towards a civil war. I mean, not tomorrow or next year, but at some point, if we keep going like this, the Republican Party is fractured, the Democrat Party is starting to fracture, but we only have two parties in charge, and they won't let anyone else in the debates, a libertarian, an independent.
Yeah.
It's going downhill, but just slowly. I think Corona is a little worse than the flu, but they told us from the beginning it doesn't mutate. It mutates less than the flu. We don't need masks. The risk is real low. Fauci said that about 1,000,000 times. It will magically disappear. It will go down to 0 in a few days. Everything is a lie. They just don't want to cause panic. Just like if aliens landed, they're not going to tell us. They don't want to cause panic.
Yeah. That's wild, man. Now you done switched my mind. I had a good question, but damn, now you done switched my mind to aliens.
I don't think it's too serious. I think it affects old people. I think it's maybe starting to affect young people, the mutations. I think it's maybe a factor of 10 times worse than the flu, but maybe 20 or 30 or 40 times worse, but only if you're really old or really sick. Generally, yeah, like 99 to 97% of people will survive it, especially if they're young. It's probably 99% or higher even if they're young. But the chance for it to mutate is way crazier than the flu. The chance for it to become like SARS or MERS, it's up there. And the longer it goes on, it's almost inevitable. It's never going back. There's so many branches of it. It's branched out so much. It's never going back to 0.5% death rate. That's not happening. It's never going down to 0.001% and being a cold.
So when I hear, because I've heard it through the grapevine, this doctor on YouTube or this supposedly doctor on YouTube or this scientist on YouTube, when they talk about this virus and they're like, well, a virus wants to survive. So it naturally mutates to get less deadly so it can survive. That's its natural way of being. That's bullshit.
Yeah. I say, give me one example, and they really can't. There's some viruses where you get it the second time and it's like it's better, like chicken pox. Like you're not really like you can get a second time, or it can lead to other things, chicken pox. But they'll say things like that. But as far as virus getting worse, it's just never happened. Google it. They just don't. Like, what about Ebola? That's been around for decades, maybe hundreds of years. It's not. It's the worst virus on Earth. It has the highest fatality rate, and there's a vaccine for it, and there's an outbreak of it right now. People dying of it right now. The vaccine is kind of useless against Ebola almost.
Right.
If you have it, the vaccine's not going to do much.
Right. No doubt.
Ebola is not getting less deadly. The common flu has never gotten less deadly. They'll say the Spanish flu. Nobody knows what happened to the Spanish flu, and nobody even knows the death rate of it. It could be 30 million, it could be 200 million or more. And some people say people were overdosing on aspirin. That's what caused the massive death rate. They didn't have the medical technology we have today. We're not exactly sure about the Spanish flu. It might have just disappeared because people actually did get herd immunity, maybe for the first time ever. Maybe it was so infectious that actually happened in like 18, 24 months. People just got immunity. I think most people think it was viral recombination. It was probably a 1 or 2% death rate and an R naught of like 1 or 2%. So kind of similar to coronavirus. And most people got it over 2 years, and it just recombined with other flus and went into animals or people and kept spreading for a few years. But instead of being 1 or 2% deadly, maybe it was just 0.5 or 1, and just kept going around until it's just the modern day. It's mixed in with modern day bird flu or something out there. which is
Right.
which can be really deadly. I don't know. So
I,
they're just not sure Spanish flu. Maybe it's in animals as bird flu or a type of swine flu. They're not really sure.
I do got a question for you with this thing we're going this germ that we're dealing with. I don't know, man. We're talking about it. I don't know what'll happen with YouTube or what they'll jump on or if they'll get mad at us or whatever the hell. But it seems to um, it seems to have a component resembling HIV. Do you think that this COVID-19 and people that get it, do you think that they're gonna have like immune problems later down the road? Do you think it'll like you know how HIV beats up your immune system? So do you think this could have something in it that could probably beat up our immune system in the long run too?
Well, so like Australia canceled their vaccine program. They I think they spent a lot of money, like $1 billion on it almost. Australia was the first country to cancel their vaccine program because when they tested people, they were coming up at testing as HIV positive. They didn't actually have it, but it was something in the like formula in the serum that it was making them test like that. Other
Right.
countries have not used certain countries' vaccines because they think it might make them more susceptible to getting HIV because it might lower their immune systems. Like South Africa just halted, I think, the AstraZeneca one
Yeah, I heard that too.
because they were saying it's going to make people more susceptible to HIV or AIDS and lower their immune system from their studies. So they canceled it and they're taking more time to study it.
Right. Right.
Um, is there AIDS? I don't know if there's an AIDS component, but like when I hear those types of things, it just I don't fully understand why because I'm not a scientist, but it's strange. I know some people think they took HIV spike proteins off and put them on coronaviruses.
Yeah, I heard something. I can't keep up with the doctor's lingo and the scientist's lingo and stuff, but early on, there was something I seen on YouTube where a guy was talking about it, and he was talking about he was reading something and he was pointing out the key words that we wouldn't understand, and he was breaking them down for us. And he made it sound like this thing was put together. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
this was added, and this was taken out, and this was added, and blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
I don't think basically anybody knows. And if China actually did do it, they did it well enough that nobody knows. Like me or you definitely can't sit here at our computer desk talking about spike proteins, analyzing if they like
Right.
placed it and they're like, oh, here's the part they took off with this virus and put on this one. We
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
I don't know, maybe there's some super genius expert that really knows, but unless they're top level and they have that thing under a microscope for months or a year, those are probably the only people that would know. I don't think anybody on YouTube for sure knows. It's
Right,
I
right.
guess some people say that's not even possible. I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe. I think they probably messed around with something. I mean, they were messing around with coronaviruses in that lab.
We got some questions. We got some questions. I'll get to them in a second because I wanted to ask you this. This one's gonna be touchy, man. Some people might get mad at you, but I just, in your opinion, man, if if you could put a couple rules out and everybody would listen to you, what would you tell them to do to protect themselves from this virus? What would, like, if you could say it and
Yeah.
everybody would do it, what would it be?
I mean, I think it would be different if I was president versus like I think I know how to solve this, but me being president, I wouldn't do any of that stuff, you know.
Right.
Theoretically to solve this, you just lock everybody down in their houses for 2 months. Like nobody leaves and everything's delivery by people are just tested constantly. Even these idiot senators and governors, they're locked up too. Just everybody. Everything's virtual calls and it's just like Songbird. You just have deliveries and it's all sanitized. Borders are shut down in America, and they stay shut down probably forever unless the world figures it out. And after 2 months, we come out of lockdown. There's heavy testing. Probably after 3 months, everything's back to normal. We never need mask or any COVID or stupid plexiglass or hand sanitizer ever again. People don't have to wash their hands after they go to the bathroom if they don't want anymore.
Well, you know what the problem with that is, that I think, man, is that I think if they did something, huh?
It's crazy. It'll never work. I mean, nobody's going to agree to it, but I mean,
Yeah, because we know that if we was to do something like that, they would get that power, and it would go. It would be too extreme. They would use it against us for the rest of the time, man. They'd be like, oh well, we got them all to lock down, and they're all sitting in their houses, every single person. Now we have extreme power. You know what I mean? Freedom would be gone. Period.
yeah.
And that's kind of what this country was. It is what this country was built on. You know, it was all about freedom, man. So
No, that's just like the theoretical way to do it. But if I was like president or like a Corona czar or on the task force, I would probably emphasize like mutation testing and test because they only test for that in a few cities. And if some little city in Connecticut or some little place in Texas tests for it, they're not. We don't know if it's happening in New York or Idaho or wherever else. So I would do mutation testing. I'll probably do like celebrity commercials for masks or like stupid stuff like that.
right,
I would make masks free, N95 or P100. I'd probably just do P100 face masks, like this kind, but P100,
right,
and just mail them to people or something, or free at the pharmacies. I would promote American like antibiotic manufacturing and American drug manufacturing, American mask manufacturing here. Make everything here, all of our own food, our own soap, all that stuff that we need. Probably
yeah,
do like free schooling or something for like more doctors and nurses, and like maybe even like more like military like doctors and nurses too. Prop that up, maybe prop up like National Guard with doctors and like that whole infrastructure. I don't know. More research into like other medicines, even like see how well vitamin D or if there's anything else out there. They think ivermectin might work okay. Research all that stuff.
Do you think the medicines that's going on right now, that there's too much war between medicine companies and too much beef between Democrats and Republicans? Like, we could actually have some medicine that does good, but there's other sides blocking it because of money or because of power, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, like hydroxychloroquine has been politicized. I
Right.
basically think there's no drug basically that works. Nothing really works. Respirators don't really work. Nobody ever comes off those things. And I asked my friend, you go on that thing, you're dead in a couple of days. He puts somebody on a respirator, he comes back the next day, they're dead.
Wow.
You're not coming back from those things.
I,
Once like
I,
one person did recently told me about, but there's no miracle drug basically. Maybe they work 5-10%. Maybe vitamin D works a tiny bit, but it's like eating an apple a day. It's it's not that great overall. We
right.
haven't found
Right.
any. Israel's working on a miracle drug like EXO 24 or something that's supposed to cause like almost 100% of cases are only mild at worst. Maybe that will work out. But so far, there's basically nothing. Just exercise and eat healthy. Maybe take vitamin D or zinc.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do other than just be really healthy, which that's kind of the best thing for against getting like a flu like sickness if you're just healthy to start.
Right. Right. So with all that being said, let's say it's your let's say it's your mom, but your mom's young. She's 50. What would you tell her, man? This will be the last time I ask you, but what would you tell her if you could tell her a couple things to do to where she might not catch this thing? What could she do?
Well, I think 50 are still pretty safe.
So
I
you
think
don't think you would even have to worry about it?
yeah, I think 50 is still pretty young for this. But if you're 50 and not 100% healthy, or you're just worried about it, because young people, there's a few young people died recently, like a 13 and 16-year-old kids. I think they're skinny in shape, no pre-existing conditions in America. They just died of COVID.
Well, let me tell you, man. Around my way,
Just socially isolate and wear a mask. There's not much else. If you're super worried, take vitamins. Be
well,
careful how many people you have in your house. That type of stuff.
I got to tell you, man. There was this little girl around my way. This was around Christmas time, and every single thing that was said about this, I mean, it was a mirror image of what's going on with this virus. The little girl got sick. They thought it was the flu. She ended up getting better for like a day or two. And then, boom, she got very, very sick and she passed away. She was only 8 years old and she had no medical problems, no issues before that whatsoever. It was in our newspaper. And this is before, they were even talking about COVID, but every single detail about it was exactly like 19. You know what I mean? And that was
Yeah,
an 8-year old.
yeah. It's weird how it can be serious sometimes, but not other times. I
Mm,
would never do that crazy lockdown I was talking about. But I'm just saying, like, if you think about it, that's how you solve it. But overall, I don't like the lockdowns because if you get too carried away with the lockdowns, then you could apply them towards AIDS, and then it just won't make very much sense anymore. Like if you apply a lockdown towards AIDS, you can't leave your house until you test negative.
all right, I got a question from you for Native. You had Native on your show what a couple days ago, right? Y'all did y'all's thing on your show, didn't you?
Yeah, that was a good video.
Oh, I want to let people know too, everybody that's in the chat and everybody that's watching. Shrimp Zoo gets a lot of people on his show. He gets doctors on his show. I mean, there's all kinds of different people you get on there and you interview and get some inside information and good talks. And then what I want to point out too, if Shrimp Zoo gets somebody on his show and he finds out that they're bullshit, he will call them out. He has no problem with it whatsoever. He will let them know that, hey man, you're bullshit, man. And he lets all of us know that they're bullshit so we don't fall for that dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Shrimp Zoo don't play. He deals with the haters. But Native asked, who do you think are the major players trying to gain control of all the world's government? Ah,
Nice. Um, well, I think like the major beneficiaries are some of the governors in America, like New York and California, and but like that's just small compared to some of the companies like Amazon or Walmart or Target, where their stock prices are like 3 or 4 times some of them since the pandemic began. Those
right.
companies are just eating away like all small business in America. They're gaining tremendously the most, and I'm sure they have lobbyists. Amazon and Walmart and Target, all those companies, they have lobbyists, and I'm sure there's probably 50 or 100 other megacorps that have lobbyists in DC telling, hey, we're essential, let's implement these COVID laws, these restrictions to keep our workers safe. But these same restrictions and protocols and deeming them essential is also like on the other end destroying every gym and nail salon and every mom and pop store in America. So they're gaining the most, I think. And governors like Cuomo, he is gaining like the amount of power of a president almost, because in New York when Trump was president, we were still locked down and we had nightly curfews at some points when there was riots.
Right.
Um, we weren't allowed out past like 7 for a week or two, and then you couldn't go out past, and then like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. then you could go back out. everything's restriction everywhere you look. Any store, there's a certain amount of people, or you can't do this, or whatever it is, or this place isn't open, or there's only curbside, or all these businesses are closed. Nothing, you can't, any entertainment things, it's all shut down. Restaurants in
Yeah,
Buffalo were only allowed to open back up past 10:91 places. In Buffalo were allowed to be open past 10 o'clock recently now. So there's still restrictions, and they don't call it a lockdown, but it's like a soft lockdown.
right, right. What do you think about social media and these big tech companies and stuff? You think they've gained like immense power
Um,
through the last couple years?
yeah, definitely them, Amazon, Walmart, some of the political leaders. I mean, the presidents are gaining power too. They're doing things other presidents haven't done before. Trump and Biden.
Yeah,
DC is sealed off. It looks like a Berlin Wall or like a third world country in South America or something. They still have troops there, I think, and that fence is still there. So political leaders are gaining power. What the rich are gaining power. WHO, Fauci is like one of the most powerful people in the entire world, really.
right, right. I got a question. I got a couple questions from a couple people. Uh, AJ, prepping for life, he asked, "You think the virus has anything to do with blood types, like as far as it being worse on this person and not so bad on this person?"
Slightly, they say. I think O type blood is like the best to have with COVID, but it doesn't appear too significant. Only a few percentage points, really. It also
Yeah,
helps if you're a woman too, I think. But those are pretty small percentages. Like, I guess your best bet is to be like a little girl. So if you're a
right.
year old girl, you're probably like as close to 100% safe as possible.
Oh, okay.
You're like 99.89% like probably protected just being a 9-year-old girl. I don't know, probably something like that.
Got you. Got you. All right. And Rip Curl asked, "Do you think the do you think it'll be mandatory, the jab? Do you think it's going to be mandatory?"
Not for a really long time because they're messing around. It's been a bad rollout everywhere except for like the UAE and Israel, and like maybe one other place I'm unaware of. Israel, last time I checked, this was like a week or two ago. Israel vaxxed like 50-60% of their population, probably all their military. China might have vaxxed like most of their population by now. Definitely all their military. Um, it won't be required for years to come. In international flights, it will eventually. That could be applied to other things like buses, trains, domestic flights. They said it won't be applied to domestic flights, but everybody in this thing lies. It's always a lie. So definitely international will be the first step. And borders, definitely. Borders will be. And government run quarantine camps. You could call them FEMA camps, but they're just going to be like government approved hotels. We could go back to government military barracks where people were first being quarantined, or like ghetto apartment complexes that were like closed down, or abandoned hotels. That's what we were first doing when this happened with cruise ship passengers who had it. We'd go back to that. I, I think I think quarantining for international borders or international flights and those type of places in the future will be required because the shot's not going to be able to stop you from spreading it or getting it or whatever. So they're going to have to resort to harder protocols to different plans, Plan B, Plan C, or use all the plans together to try to contain it.
All
So
right. And I'm gonna
eventually,
throw this up. I got another question from Rip Curl. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I got another question from Rip Curl too. But Hutch just hit this in the chat. What you think, man? What you think?
I mean, some people are saying that it might target certain races and stuff. The mainstream news is always saying that it targets like Black and Latino people, but I don't think anybody's quite sure yet.
Right.
Maybe Asian people don't get it as yet if it's like a nefarious plan, but I my thoughts are that it probably targets everybody the same, but I just don't really know. I don't think anybody knows because there hasn't been enough studies really on that yet.
Right. Right. All right. Well, Rip Curl asked, and I'm gonna add a little bit to it, but do you think that maybe with this COVID-19 we've been dealing with for the last year, do you think another one will come along that'll be even worse? Do you think maybe the government might have even seen what happens and learned from it and said, okay, maybe we can do this or do that?
Um, I think in the future they're not going to need to use nukes anymore or bombs or missiles. Probably even they're just going to be able to slip a bioweapon into your border undetected. China or Russia is just going to be able to have a spy go on American Airlines from Beijing to New York. Just cough, do a couple coughs in the airport, return back.
It'd be like Planet of the Apes out this joint.
Yeah, I mean it's not going to really it's not going to take much for a terrorist or a foreign nation to attack us with a bioweapon. Basically, all it's going to involve is one person having a flu and flying here. Very
Right.
so I think yes, but like, are they going to release COVID 20 and 21 and hide it and just say it's a mutation? No, because there's viral recombination and there's millions of people with COVID and there's, I mean, what you just need two people with coronavirus to just be near each other for them to possibly create a new super mutation, and it's mutating enough on its own where just if it was a bioweapon, then it was almost perfect because not that deadly. It spreads fast. It will shut borders in your country down, weaken your economy. We always have outbreaks in the military. We can't send them on cruise ships without having outbreaks. Even though it's not deadly, if you have 2,000 people on there, that means 3 or 4 of them are going to die. Or even if only one or none of them die, it means hundreds are going to be vomiting or get super sick. You just have to dock and stop the whole thing.
Right.
It's a huge nuisance. So it just
Yeah,
mutating enough on its own without them having to do that, I think.
right. Do you think they'll come out with a new one? Like you got Ebola happening in Africa, you got this happening all over the world. Do you think they'll drop another one? A different one?
I mean, North Korea they say has like over a dozen different bioweapons. South Korea came out with a report saying that recently. I'm sure that China has other coronaviruses that they're researching. Whether or not they have one like in a little missile tip where they can spread it, or like they have like a little umbrella where they can like squirt coronaviruses out onto people, or like something crazy like that. I don't know if they're gonna do that, but I know they're researching it, and every time you have a biolab, there's always a leak. Smallpox got leaked out of a biolab. SARS got leaked out twice and killed people. If it's in a lab, it's gonna get leaked out. It's not even conspiracy theory. It's just human error.
Right. Right.
It'll happen again.
Now, I also want to. We've been going for like an hour and 15 minutes, man. Are you still good? Because I'm having a good time, man. I appreciate you chilling with me and answering all these questions, man. Are you good? Are you on any kind of? You got to go anywhere? Got anything you got to do anytime soon?
No, I don't have a time limit.
All right, cool, man. I'm gonna keep coming at you then. Also, for everybody in the chat and everybody watching, Shrimp Zoo has another channel. It's a virus prepper. It's just virus prepper, right? Not the virus prepper.
Yeah, it's just virus prepper.
Yeah, he started a channel, because he preps, and he keeps an eye on these viruses and stuff, and he's really interested in them, and I know you've talked about it before, how it just sparks your interest all the time. Like even before this Corona stuff, you was always checking it out and researching it and doing background checks throughout it all and whatnot. But as far as your virus prepper channel, I know that you've done some. Well, I know on your Shrimp Zoo and your virus prepper channel, you've had like New York prepper on with you, Hudson Valley prepping and survival. Yeah, I even seen Angry Prepper on your Shrimp Zoo show. Y'all did a little show together. It was like 45 minutes or something. I remember watching that too.
Yeah,
So
he's been on 2 or 3 times.
yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. But as far as prepping for viruses and stuff, man, what all do you do as far as prepping goes? How do you prep for them?
I have like 10 gallons of like hand sanitizer that I bought, but I'm not really using too much hand sanitizer anymore, just because it's not gonna be good for your hands all the time long term. So I eased up on that. I'm like barely using it, but I have that. I have like hundreds of masks, all different types, like from ones that are just like the blue surgical masks up to like full face gas mask with P100 chemical and organic filtration. I have a hazmat suit. I'm definitely prepping for food. I have a few months, like maybe 3 to 6 months worth of food. I have some stuff that doesn't expire for like 5 to 25 years. I have a couple bug out bags. I have like chainsaws, axes, so I can have my own fires. Big garden. I have a little guard dog. So I have like security system.
Yeah,
Um,
I s-
Overall prepping, I guess. Besides like the mask and like just basic medical supplies, just the regular prepper stuff. Making sure I have enough food and water.
do you stock up on vitamins and stuff like that too? Do you keep a nice quantity of like
Yeah,
vitamin C, vitamin D, and all that kind of stuff?
yeah, I have like a ton of vitamins. I have like a whole cabinet full of them. I make
Yeah.
sure I have like all the medicines and stuff stocked up because those things they're all made in China, so we could get screwed over if they just stop sending them, but they run out sometimes.
Yeah, they were running low around my way for a while. They might still be in some cases. Like it was hard to find vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, all kinds of stuff. Silver, when they started talking about silver a lot, and then all of a sudden you couldn't find no silver in the stores whatsoever. So
Yep.
did you ever think about throughout this whole period, and like you said, when it started breaking out and you noticed that the government and the media and your local government, they were lying to people and they weren't telling us what was going on. Did you ever think about getting the hell out of New York and bugging out?
Well, I want to leave New York State, and I think I probably will. New York has probably the worst. I know lockdowns work, but I don't really like them. And I don't think the way we do them basically works at all, except to stop the hospital from completely collapsing. But I'd like to get out of New York, I think. We have too many COVID laws here and other laws that aren't very well.
Let's say you fell into $1 million and you could move wherever you wanted to move to. Where would you consider, the place you'd want to
Uh,
be?
I like Alaska and Pennsylvania. I mean, I would probably move to Hershey, Pennsylvania, but as far as prepping, that's kind of bad because it's too close to a few big cities there, and it's closer to New York City. I would move to Hershey or Alaska, maybe North Carolina, but those are all bad places for prepping or like end of the world stuff. Maybe another. I think you will have to go to another country or like something like Alaska.
Yeah,
Maybe the Midwest, Wyoming or Montana, but I don't know if I want to live in those places. I don't
right,
know.
right.
Maybe Alaska, I guess, for now, but or Pennsylvania, maybe Arizona too.
What
I don't know.
what what do you think? What do you think's better to I mean, this is just opinion, and it might piss some people off. But what do you think? Who do you think's going to deal with the virus better? A Democratic ran state or a Republican ran state? This is a good one, man.
Well, everything changes so much. Like at first, Republicans were more pro-mask than Democrats were, but it
Yeah,
changed.
yeah,
Senator Tom Cotton like went to a mask factory to help open it and stuff, and he started. I know he didn't always wear a mask, but he started promoting mask, and that was like the first person who like I think he's the only one in the government to like help open a mask factory in America. I think is it the mask factory is in Montana, I think. He did this like right away. And he's a Republican. But then that switched now. I'm sure he's still involved in that and like that's pro mask and that's good or whatever, but now Democrats are the pro mask and Republicans are mostly anti mask. It could change, so I don't think either one of them is best. The virus is worse than ever. There's more mutations than ever. There's viral recombination. We have over 500,000 dead people now. Not that many people have been vaccinated either, like the promise.
right.
Biden is basically saying it will magically go away. That he just keeps giving dates. The end of 2021, the spring of 2022. They're basically saying it will just go away. Neither party is going to be that good for it because they're not really based on science. They're just based on opposites of each other.
Right. Are you going to take the jab, man? If it's available for you, are you going to take it?
I mean, I don't even know how that works, how you get it. I don't know. I really haven't even looked into getting it. I'm pro vaccine. Like I got the regular flu vaccine last fall because I didn't want there to be a chance I got the regular flu and COVID or get the regular flu and have to go to the hospital thinking it's corona. So I'll take most vaccines, but this one I'm skeptical about. I'm not gonna take it for now.
Yeah.
I just don't. There's too many strains and they say they don't work. So they say the vaccine doesn't work on a lot of the new strains. So I just figure what's the point? I don't know.
Right. Right. I think that's what they said about the AstraZeneca one that they shut down. I think you talked about it earlier. They shut it down in Africa because they said the African strain, it just wasn't no sense in using it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so if it was just one strain, like the flu, or it's just like maybe like the flu, it's usually like there's one strain, and then usually one other strain from like last season kind of going away. If there's just like one or two strains and it just kind of alternates every year, there's a new strain, and there's just like one shot. But this isn't like that. There's like 100 mutations, and you have to take 2 shots of everything. The Johnson & Johnson, they prayed, oh, it's just one. It's going to be so good. Well, no, now it's 2. They're all 2. They're always 2. And they're not working against all the different mutations. So right now, if you're lucky enough, if you want to get fully vaxxed, you're at 4 shots probably.
Whoa.
And then we're barely into the year, so every month you're just going to add 2 more shots. I mean, that's how it looks. You need
Right.
a booster shot that's 1 or 2 shots every month or every 2 or 3 months. It seems like we're going down the road where it's like every month you're going to need 2 booster shots or something.
Yeah, because when they talk about this virus, I know I've heard it a few times. They talked about it, and they would say like, "Yeah, you got antibodies, but the antibodies wouldn't last but a month." And some people said 3 months, some people said 4 months. So I figure if you get a jab for it, that's going to be the same thing. If your body only comes up with antibodies that only last a certain amount of time, and it's a short period of time, then anything that we make to make the antibodies is going to be the same damn thing. It's only going to last a couple months or whatever, and you're going to have to do it again and again and again. It's just the way I seen it. I don't know if we're gonna get in trouble for all this talk or not, but you know, it is what it is, man.
Well, hopefully not. I think as long as we don't say anything, if you don't discuss like injury from it,
Right.
is the main thing. Definitely don't show any videos
Right. Right.
about it.
I can't do that anyway.
I mean,
So,
I
but
feel like I'm not talking bad about it. I just don't feel like it's gonna work out because there's too many variations going around that are each eventually gonna need their own jab.
right.
We're gonna need like 100 jabs by the end of the year at this rate.
I hear that. You also have a backup channel too in case they shut you down on Shrimp Zoo, because I know they've like shut you down for a couple weeks at a time a couple times, didn't they?
Yeah, I always get shut down for like a week or two.
And when that happens, I think you go on the Shrimp Zoo news show, right? I mean channel.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my main channel is live streams, and then I'm gonna try to do the SHRIMPZOO news channel as like 2 or 3 minute quick news videos. And then
Right.
the prepper channel is just gonna be like prepper gear and like prepping videos.
Right. And I just want to let the chat know and everybody watching too that you may not agree with some of the stuff that Shrimp says in some of his shows, or you may not agree with his guests when they talk or whatever, but Shrimp don't try to make you believe anything. He just puts out, you know, what he puts out, and you're open to believe and think what you want. Like, I've been watching a lot of YouTube channels for a lot of years, and Shrimp Zoo is one of the best ones I've ever seen at dealing with different people's opinions. He lets everybody have their own opinion. He don't like shut you down in the chat if you say something against what he's talking about. He'll actually talk to you about it. He'll even put it up on the screen and ask you why you're thinking this or why you're saying that. Like, you deal with trolls better than anybody I know, man. And that's the truth. Like, I don't know how you do it, man. They just brush off your shoulder like it ain't nothing, man. I'm like, damn, I learned a lot from you watching you to set myself up for when the trolls come. I'll be able to deal with them better. You know what I'm saying?
They'll come eventually. Probably not at the rate at which I get them though.
I
I think I get
know.
a lot of trolls because I'm just in the middle, and so it makes people on the like it makes a lot of people on the left really mad, and then people like really extreme on the right. But I get a lot of megas that like my channel, and I have a lot of Democrats that like my channel too. I have Antifa members and cops that watch my channel. So
Right. I
I
know
want
it's a mixed bunch over there. It sure is.
I
But
want
that's what
everyone
it's supposed to
to watch.
be, man.
I feel like it might be mostly megas. I'm not sure because they like maybe a Democrat bashing other Democrats or something. I don't know.
Right. But you don't lean that far left.
No, I'm just in the middle. I'm
Right.
not I'm not a fan of Joe Biden, and
Yeah.
I make fun of Biden. I make fun of Cuomo and De Blasio. I make fun of Pelosi, and I make fun of Mitch McConnell. I made fun of Trump a few times. I make fun of all the leaders, the mayor of Chicago. I make fun of Newsom.
Yeah, you got to, man. You got to. I mean, all of them got something going on that ain't right. Every last one of them. I don't care what nobody say. I don't trust anybody in government, man. None of them. I think the closest one I probably like have a little bit of respect for is Rand Paul, and I like his dad too.
Yeah, I like his dad too.
But I like Rand Paul because he's, you know, he what it seems like is he's all about that freedom, man. Like, if anything stops us from getting our freedom, he's against it, and that's what I'm all about, man.
They won't give him a chance though. It seems like when he
Yeah,
runs.
yeah. Because he goes against both sides. He's got like both sides against him when he talks, and when he don't have no cut cards. He's like you. He'll go at the Democrats and the Republicans if he don't believe in what the hell they're talking about or doing. You know.
Yep. I mean, I wouldn't mind a libertarian president.
Yeah, me neither.
I think that might unify the country.
Yeah, I think I seriously think we need to get away from people being Republican and being Democrat, man. I think that's one of the biggest problems we have in this country. That's where all the divide comes from. That's where all the racism media shit comes from. You know what I'm saying? It's because of those two damn parties, man. They're always trying to keep, and I think they were put in place to do that, to keep us divided. That way they can keep that power. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, this whole summer they were doing that, placing each of their sides against each other purposely to gain votes and to amp each side up. Both sides were definitely doing that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
The summer here was really bad. That was like one of the worst summers in American history.
yeah.
That will be in the history books as like people will think we are crazy.
Hell yeah, you got that right. If anybody has any questions in the chat, you can drop the questions, and if I don't see them, Nisi will bring them to me too. But put them in bold letters, and if you put it at Prepper Tribe, it'll come up a different color, and it'll attract my attention. I'm not that good at this, man. I've only been doing this like 3 months, so
Now
I'm.
you are good. Look at your whole setup, man. You look professional. You got t-shirt. You have the gold stickers on your mic, you have headphones, everything. Your setup is pretty good.
Yeah, but you helped me out with that, man. When I hit you up and you gave me some inside info on some equipment to get and stuff, man. I appreciate it too, man. I didn't know who to reach out to, and I was like, nah, wait a minute. Shrimp Zoo knows what's up. Cause you got the best setup, man. I sit here and watch your show, and I'll catch myself a lot of times just looking at all the stuff you got on your walls in the background. You know what I mean? You got your screen over there. It always has Shrimp Zoo on it. It's just a cool room, man. I love it. All right, I do got another question for you. I know you prepare for the viruses and all that stuff, but do you also prep for other things like New York weather or any kind of natural disasters or anything like that?
Yeah, that's like so viruses and the weather are like the things I prep for the most. I have solar panels. I have lithium ion solar generator batteries. I have like 5 or 6 of them. I have one in my room, some in the kitchen, some in the living room. I have some in this room powering the lights. There's too much snow right now for it to be on solar power, but usually these lights are on solar power. I have I power like all my phones and all that stuff on solar power.
Cool, cool.
Um, what else? What other kind of preps? I prep for like losing weather, like just having axes and chainsaws and hatchets and stuff like that in case I lose power and need to use wood or something to heat my house.
Right. You got a fireplace in your house or a wood burning stove or anything like that?
Yeah, I have a little wood burning stove. It's in my garage. I probably just would bring it in the house.
Yeah.
So I prep for power outages and cold weather. I don't have to really prep for warm weather here. That's not like a real thing.
Yeah, New York. Yep.
I prep for food. I used to have chickens, but the city made me get rid of them. I have a pretty big garden where I would be able to probably feed myself without ever having to go to the grocery store if something bad happened.
Oh,
Um,
that's cool. Do you got like backup heat sources for the house? You know, down in Texas, man, people are going through hell because they don't have like kerosene heaters or any kind of backup heating source, man. Do you got backup heaters for your house in case the electric goes out?
Not really. I just have the solar generators and solar panels, and then I have electric heaters. If I lose
Right.
power, it will just. I mean, I'm not gonna die, but it'll be bad.
Yeah.
If it's the end of the world, then I'm just gonna be like lay like fireproof bricks on the ground and cut a hole in the side of my wall and put a wood burning stove in. But I mean, if it
Uh,
comes to that, I'll do it. But if
and
it's
there's
just
another there's another way to do it too, man. A friend of mine, uh, they had two trailers and they connected them. But what they would do with their wood stove is because they want to take it out during summer and they didn't want to run it through the roof or nothing like that. So what they actually did was build like a metal square with a hole in it and put it in a window. And he would run the pipes going out of the window, but it, they would lift the window up, they put the metal around it, and then it would go through the hole.
Yeah,
That way you don't.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's
I don't have
just an
those.
idea.
I'm in like an old farmhouse, so I don't have those types of windows, and I do in here. I'll have to tear my YouTube studio down, I guess.
Yeah, it might save you from putting a hole in your wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have a decent amount of land. There's water here. I collect water from like a rainwater collection system, so I have a few hundred gallons of water at all times.
That's cool. You got life straws or mini Sawyers or any of that stuff?
Yeah, I have like a 6-stage water filtration system, and then I have like two life straws.
Nice, nice. That's awesome, man. Do you get to freeze dried food and stuff? Do you stock up on that stuff?
I mean, I do, but it's nasty. I don't like to
Yeah.
eat it. So go if I know all the preppers will do that though, but like go open that stuff up and eat it. It's gross. So
Right, right. I try to get the best kind, man. We go with the what is it, Mountain House?
yeah. I mean, I haven't
Yeah.
had all of it, so maybe. I mean, I definitely haven't had all of it. I do have some of it though. Like I have like a huge 5-gallon bucket of like food and stuff. I don't know. I just
Okay.
mostly have just like canned soup and that like rice, beans.
I got you, babe. I got you. I seen it. I put it up there for him. If you had to bug out what you take, what would you take, and do you have a location to go to?
I'll probably get in my car and just drive out. It depends what I'm bugging out from, but I would drive to my friend's house or out west maybe. I have a bulletproof bug out bag, and then I have another like virus bug out bag with masks and stuff. I'll grab some weapons and both my bug out bags and my dog food and just get in the car.
You can always hit me up, man. I'm a Twitter hit away, man. I got you. If there ain't nowhere else to go, man, hit me up. I got you. I know. I know. I just want to let the chat know and everybody that watches or might watch in the future. Y'all should go check out his virus prepper channel too, because he has New York prepper on there, Hudson Valley prepper and survival. They get on there and they talk about all their preps and show their preps and stuff. And then on his SHRIMPZOO channel, he has New York prepper a lot too. Y'all do a show. Y'all. I know I've seen at least 3 or 4 shows in the last few weeks,
Yeah, we did
and
a show 2 or 3 days ago. Me and New York Prepper do a bunch of shows.
they're good. They're really good shows. Like they get into the information. Like New
Yeah,
York Prepper knows what the hell he's talking about, man. Like I watch that dude all the time.
yeah,
'Cause
he's good. Plus, he has a
yeah,
lot. I'm not real into guns, but he has some good gun videos. Bro, he'll
hell
just
yeah,
roll up into like 50 little squares and see how many squares an elephant gun will shoot through. Like
yeah. I
he's got,
seen it.
his weather videos are really good too.
Yeah. I watch every single one of them, man, because he breaks it down. You know what I mean? He'll go all the way in depth with it. He won't just say, "Oh, there's a storm coming. Look on this radar." Like he goes into it, explains why the weather's doing what it's doing, where it's coming from, what the future weather is probably going to be because of this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? He breaks it down.
Why don't I ever look up? The GoPro is like up here. That's why the GoPro is super high.
Who asked that? I would throw it up on there, but I didn't see
You
who
know,
asked it.
people always ask that too. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I do the
Plus,
same thing.
I don't know. I usually wear a mask and a hat and glasses for my videos.
I know.
It's part of the thing, like Wilson.
But you make some cool intro videos and shit too, like and not really intro videos, but they're kind of like commercial videos for your channel. They'll be like 3-4 minutes long, but you get some dope beats, man. I'm like, damn, where he get them beats from? I love them, man. I love them little 3-4 minute videos you do, man. I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's why that's kind of why I did the last one. You said do a few more short ones. When's the last
Yeah.
time you went camping? I've been camping a bunch of times. I usually
Oh,
go to the crazy places with no power, no nothing, in the Adirondacks and stuff. I've been there a bunch.
oh, okay. I can't keep up with the chat, man. That's something I got to get used to. Like you run through them, you put them all up on the screen and stuff. I'm starting to learn it, but I miss a lot of them,
I mean,
man.
if you're into camping, you're kind of already a prepper because you're probably gonna have like just having a camping bag is like kind of a bug out bag. But camping gear and prepping gear kind of go hand in hand.
Do you do any fishing or hunting?
No, but like I'm prepared to do either one if it's the end of the world. I don't really like hunting, but I mean I'll go hunting I guess if I have to.
Have you done any studying on like how to like clean
Fish
a
and
deer or clean a fish or anything like that?
I mean I caught sharks and stuff before like that and like sea bass in the ocean.
Oh, that's cool. You like seafood?
Not really, but I just been fishing a bunch of times, so I mean I could catch fish and eat them. I've done it.
You're gonna be screwed, man. You don't like freeze dried food. You don't like seafood. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean I have all the food I need. I'm still gonna get bored. Everybody's gonna get bored with just the food that they have,
Yeah, yeah.
but
We
I'll survive.
we stock up on like board games and stuff too, man. Because even if just the lights go out
Oh,
for a
yeah.
couple days,
Yeah, that's
keep
a good idea.
yeah, we keep like Monopoly, Yahtzee, cards, just everything, so we can sit around and do something and not just twiddle our thumbs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what's in that's what's in that thing is board games.
Yeah.
Prepping for entertainment.
Hell yeah, man. It's important, man. And
I always make sure my car has full tank of gas and like my phone and all that stuff is charged, and I have like a backup phone charger.
right, right. Does your family prep? Does like your mom or dad or any
No,
family you got?
no, they don't think that stuff is crazy.
Really?
But then like by like beginning of summer, they decided coronavirus was really serious because they're all not all, but my sisters are very liberal. So by the time summer they decided Corona was serious. They all needed masks, but they couldn't buy them.
Right.
So they're not. No, they're not. Nobody in my family is a prepper. The liberals or conservatives.
Did you have to watch out for them all, like with the masks and
Yeah,
all that?
I had to give everybody masks and like they wanted goggles and stuff.
Yeah, I remember you doing videos back then when you were saying that your wife had to like sleep in a camper or something out in the driveway or something like that. I can't
Yeah,
remember exactly, but
we had like an RV in the driveway.
right.
We had,
And
like
you and she was like the only one that had the good masks and stuff at work too, because everybody else was like short, but you had her back because you were on top of things.
yeah, there was they ran out of stuff pretty fast. They ran out of masks again already here. Because I just gave my one friend who's a nurse a mask because they didn't have N95 mask anymore.
Right. You into retro video games, man?
Yeah, I like retro video games.
What's retro video games like Pac-Man and shit like that? All right.
I mean, I don't go. Yeah, do I have? Yeah, I have like Pac-Man and stuff, but I'm not. I do have Pac-Man, but I don't like it that much. I like the Mario and PS1 and like Dreamcast. I like all the Sega stuff, the hockey games where there's like blood and stuff and they're gory and you're fighting like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. All
Right.
the side-scrolling arcade games and like The Simpsons, Ninja Turtles,
Yeah.
um, all the old Capcom games and X-Men, all that stuff.
Well, I'm a little bit older than you. I think I'm 45. But like my favorite games coming up was like Donkey Kong and Popeye, man. I used to like Popeye where you had to catch all the hearts that Olive Oyl was throwing down. And Pluto was trying to kill Popeye and shit, man. I just remember love and Frogger. I used to love Frogger, man.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like
Yeah.
the Donkey Kong one, but that arcade has like 10,000 games on it.
But
I put
the big one
yeah
behind you?
yeah it has like 10,000 like retro games, like all the PS1, all the Dreamcast, has like all the N64, has a lot of games on it.
Oh, nice. Will your solar system run those?
Yeah, it'll run it. It doesn't take that much power, but I
Yeah.
mean, if there's a serious like anything, I'm only gonna probably be up for 2 days with power, and then after that, I'm only gonna be able to get up to like 15-20% power every day. The panels won't charge the batteries like fast enough for me to be able to use them constantly.
Right. Have you ever checked out Prepper Nurse One, the channel Prepper Nurse One?
Yeah, a few times, and
Yeah,
I've Pepper Nurse has been on Angry Channel, I think, or Angry Pepper, right?
yeah. But
Yeah,
he's got a solar system. His whole entire he runs two houses. Like his mother and his sister live in a house right beside his house, and he has the whole solar set up, and that's how they get all their electric to both houses.
nice.
He's got like a battery room, and he's got this like the whole side of his house is like a whole bunch of different solar panels, and it just charges. And he always talks about it like he does little like 15-minute videos every day.
Yeah,
It's
I haven't seen those ones. I'll check it out. Yeah,
yeah,
mine's not that advanced. I only have like 6 solar panels, so I need to get more, I guess, but they're expensive.
yeah, yeah. Can never have enough, I guess, man. No matter what. All right. Well, has anybody else got anything else in the chat, man? Any questions I missed? Anything you want to ask Shrimp? And y'all got to go check out his channel. I mean, seriously, I've been watching Shrimp Zoo for over a year now. I mean, I watch all your videos. You know, I at least come in there and drop a couple thumbs up or something to let you know I'm there if I can't chat. Because a lot of times I'm doing stuff and I'm watching you on my big screen TV, but I can't chat with the big screen TV and I'm doing other stuff with my laptop and stuff, but I'm always watching, brother.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I see your channel when your lives come up and I'm not doing anything. I drop in on your live streams.
Yeah, like this is probably one of the most serious shows I've ever done. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah. You're usually playing more music. I mean, you did a live stream the other day. I think it was yours where you had like 10 people on. Is that
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we do on Friday nights, man. I'll just open up the panel and drop the link in the chat, man. A bunch of people will jump on with me, man. We just have a good time, you know what I mean? You should jump in there with us sometimes, man. Whenever you got a chance, we go on at, Fridays at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jump in there with us, man. Hang out and shit. But then people probably gonna question you to death.
Oh, look at this question. SHRIMPZOO, if you could only have one item to prep, what would it be and why? I think I'm gonna have to go with my ALOC Swiss Army farmer's knife. Cause like the
Nice.
ALOC model, which is like all metal on the outside, and has like a field saw and has a couple of knives and scissors. It has a bunch of stuff on it. I would either go with that or like one of my like SOG, like all utility knives. I'm going for a knife, like a utility knife.
Right, right. I wanted to mention something too. Seeing Hutch, you and Hutch Homestead did a show not too long ago on the Virus Prepper channel, didn't you? Like a
Yeah,
week ago.
he was on Virus Prepper.
Yeah, y'all need to go check that out. Go check that out.
That was
And also,
the latest.
the Shrimp Zoo News channel. Shrimp Zoo News. That's his other channel too. So there's three of them: Shrimp Zoo, Shrimp Zoo News, and the Virus Prepper. Virus Prepper. And he's also, if you see it scrolling down on the screen, go check him out on Twitter, Patreon, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch. He's got it all rolling, all rolling. All right, man. Well, I think I'm going to call it, man. We've been on here almost 2 hours. I appreciate you being here, though, man. Thanks for coming on here and hanging out with me, man. I've been wanting to hang out with you for a long time on my channel. You know, ever since I started, I'm like, man, one of these days, Shrimp's going to come on with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. That was a good video. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. And thanks for having me on your channel, too. If y'all didn't know, I was on the SHRIMPZOO channel, too. But I appreciate everybody hanging out with us in the chat, and appreciate you, Shrimp. We'll be doing this again hopefully soon, man. Hang out again, see what happens, what's going on with the whole pandemic and shit. Maybe we jump back on here and give some people some updates or something.
Sounds good.
All right, cool, man. Thanks for being here, man. And thanks everybody in the chat. We'll catch y'all next time, all right? Peace.